Happy Moon Day, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you're all doing well. If you hear any noises in the background, I hope you don't. I have a mic. I don't know exactly how well it picks things up, but if you hear anything in the background, it's probably my kiddo. Don't worry about him. He's living his best life. So I'm going to get into the channeled messages, and then I'm going to get into whatever this energy is, because it's quite heavy. We have here a gray cat, Lacrima by Ghost, apathy, a sense of apathy, fatigue, some ascension symptoms are coming in. Osiris, the numbers 333 and 611, as well as Powerpuff Girls, Cheetos, and Denmark. So let's get into it for today. I noticed a very heavy feeling when I woke up. A very, very heavy feeling when I woke up. So let's see what this is about. I'm going to roll for what house this is in. We have the number 7 for partnerships. And what sign is it in? Looks like we have Cancer. Okay. All right. So big, heavy feelings around the house of partnership. Okay. Let's get into the runes for some more details, because I want to know exactly what they mean by house of partnerships and Cancer here. Hello, everyone coming in. I hope you're having a good Monday. I want to know what is happening here. I tapped into a very heavy energy for today, and I want to see what that's about. Looks like we have Sawilo for success. Nope, not that one. Weird that that popped up. It's actually Evas for transformation. Lagus for intuition. And then we have, which one is this one again? Turisas for defense. Oh, okay. Defense, intuition, and transformation. Interesting. Okay. And let's get into some charms here and see just a little bit more about what that's about. I'm going to look away from it so I don't see it. What's this about in the house of partnerships and Cancer? Okay. Looks like we have music being strong here. Music is big on this one. And then looks like we have the cosmos. So again, with the ancestors feeling here. The ancestors as well. We got angels. So again, ancestors. Heavy, heavy ancestors. And then we have this, which the way I look at this little charm here, I'll make it so you can see it. To me, this is like a little guiding light. It's like a little lantern in the darkness. Oh, I can see that here, because this can also be represented as a void, a spiral. So kind of like a dark night of the soul type of thing, going through a really heavy period. Maybe you're listening to a lot of music at this time, because I got this really heavy, heavy energy today. So I'm tapping into it. It's definitely this feeling of apathy and fatigue and just kind of feeling disconnected from things. So let's see, which one wants to talk today? I have some tarot decks over here, and I want to see which one feels like talking. I'm noticing the incense smoke here is kind of coming over to you guys, so there's like a cleansing of negative energies coming in, which makes sense for the defense happening here. I'm thinking we're going to go in with the Mythos Tarot, this cute little deck here. Absolutely gorgeous. I want to see what is happening. What's going on with the collective today? What's going on? Because I got the numbers 333 and 611, and both of those numbers, right? 611 points towards staying positive. And 333 is often a symbol of encouragement and support from spirit, from your ancestors. So, and 611 also can point to times of adversity. So someone's kind of really going through it right now, especially with that apathy and fatigue. But the gray cat came too. The gray cat symbolizes balance, neutrality, and inner peace. What's going on here, Spirit? What's going on with the collective today? What's going on with the collective for today? What is this heavy energy? Oh, okay. Well, we got those right away. The 5 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles. Wow, that's crazy. 5, 4, 3. A countdown of some sorts. The 5 of Pentacles, this is Penia, the Grecian goddess of suffering, which, I mean, with Cancer here, that makes sense. Deep, deep, deep in our feelings. The 5 of Pentacles can often be the victim mindset. It can be someone who's really going through it, feeling ostracized, feeling left out, feeling victimized, things of that nature. The 4 of Pentacles is all about hoarding things, holding on to things too tightly. See how the we have here with Epiphron, right? You see how people are kind of grabbing onto him and holding on to him. So there's like this feeling of being, can't let go of something. And the 3 of Pentacles is interesting because the 3 of Pentacles in here is based on the Moirai, which are the fates in Grecian mythology. And this feels like, yeah, it feels like the 3 of Pentacles in traditional tarot often represents collaboration, working together with people. But this has a feeling of a very painful collaboration. Kind of feeling like you can't leave, can't go anywhere. Yeah, it's like this never-ending suffering. Tell me more, please, Spirit. Thank you. Yeah, we have the 6 of Swords with Eos here, right? For 6 of Swords is typically about leaving a situation. And then we have Strength with Atlas. 1111 just popped up, which is all about manifestation. So we may currently be in a really heavy situation that we're having a hard time leaving, and we're trying to find the strength to do so. Yeah, it feels like the whole world is on your back. Someone here is going through it. Okay. Tell me more, please. Tell me more, please. It's really crazy that we had the 5, 4, 3. It's like a countdown. Thank you. The 3 of Cups with the Graces. Interesting. Thank you so much, Chelsea. The Graces. And the Graces are all about like charm, grace, and beauty, right? And typically in the traditional tarot, this represents like celebrating with friends. So it's a countdown to celebratory moments. So we're kind of cultivating strength to leave a really heavy situation, and that will be worth celebrating. The channel song I got earlier was Lacrima by Ghost, which is literally a song that's talking about being done crying over someone or dealing with someone who just puts you in heavy feelings. So that could be relevant here. Any more? Yeah, we have the 5 of Swords with Eris. Eris, okay. So yeah, this is definitely... The 3 of Cups can also point to 3's a crowd, but it's not in the reverse, so I'm not really seeing that here. With the 5 of Swords, though, that can point towards... 5 of Swords is like conflict, deception. Yeah, it's like leaving a very deceptive situation. Like, tell me more on that. Please clarify this 5 of Swords, because it's weird that it shows up right after the 3 of Cups. Clarify? The 3 of Wands with Ananke in reversed. Hello. I offer personal readings at the link in my bio. Here's where I do collective, just because I don't like airing people's personal business out for the entire collective to see. That just doesn't sit right with me. 3 of Wands in the reverse. The 3 of Wands typically represents plans, waiting for your ships to come in. And here we have the 5 of Swords being clarified by the reversal of this, which tells me that There are plans not coming through because of a lot of deceptive behavior. People kind of, it's like people not wanting the plans to go through, so they sabotage it somehow. Thank you. And yeah, the star reversed with Nyx. So this is not a healing situation. No, it's very much not. The star often represents, and I'm going to show her because she deserves that respect. The star often represents healing, so like deep healing. But in the reverse, that's the opposite of this. It's like not healing. This person could also be, whoever this is also could be an Aquarius, because the star is the Aquarius sign. And we have the Page of Wands here with Hemera. Page of Wands. Because of comparison? Yeah, the Page of Wands is like, it's usually the beginning of a creative journey. It's someone who's very much like young, they're new. You know, the way I'm looking at this, it kind of looks like someone who's stepping up to start singing. Oh yeah, because I don't have a certain amount of followers, I can't make the link clickable. So unfortunately, you have to put it in your browser. I know that's inconvenient, but that's just how it works for right now. So if you want to check that out, please do, okay? Yeah, the Page of Wands. This looks like someone who might aspire to be a singer, but for some reason there's some deceptive behavior here that may have caused things to fall through. And if not singing, that's just someone who is very new at something, a younger energy, someone who has all these creative ideas and things are just not working out. And it could be because of people around you who aren't really working with you, and it's got you in a very like heavy energy. Yeah, here on TikTok, in order to make clickable links in your bio, you have to have 1,000 followers. So that's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, the Fool with Pan. And this is like, the Fool in traditional tarot is a new beginning, and that's the energy here for him too. Hello. Yeah, it's like a Page of Wands, a brand new beginning, this new energy of creativity. So it's like we have this new beginning that we want, but we're currently in this deep... Oh, I see. Okay. There could be, now I know some people, this may trigger some people, so just fair warning in advance. This could be a big bullying situation. And I know in the music industry that can be a huge issue, but it definitely feels, yeah, with the star here as well, that could be a rise to fame being blocked by people who suck. And it's kind of like hampering the creative process. Yeah, that would put somebody in their feels for sure. Oh man, that was huge flip. This came out sideways. I want to know if you want to be up or down. Sideways again. Usually the sideways means it could go either or, right? So this is Thanatos for death, and it's not a literal death, it's a transformative type of death, which makes sense here because we did get the rune for transformation, Ivas, right? Transformation, that's literally this card. So there may be a call here to transform, and in the upright, it is a big transformation, a change of some sort. In the reversed, it's resisting that change. So it's like we're right on the precipice. Hello. Right on the precipice of this change. It's kind of like we're not quite sure if we want to go there yet. Because we have all this heavy energy building up, but it's building this strength to leave this situation and make changes. Yeah, Ace of Wands with Hephaestus in reverse. Oh man. Okay, so Hephaestus in Greek mythology is literally the embodiment of being bullied. he had a really, really rough time. The other gods bullied him all the way, including Zeus, who's literally right after this, right? What this represents in the tarot, especially with the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Wands is that spark, it's that motivation, it's that inner fire. Seeing it in the reverse definitely explains this apathy, this feeling of apathy. It means no motivation, not chasing after things that light you up. Yeah, so that's where we're at, right? We have this energy of the pan, this brand new beginning that we're trying to jump into, that's like full of passion. The green is the heart chakra, so it's like something you really, really love, that you're really passionate about. But there's a change that needs to happen because maybe, well, from what I'm getting, we're surrounding ourselves with the absolutely wrong people. And right now we're currently in this energy of not feeling inspired, no motivation, because, well, frankly, people are siphoning that out of us. Yeah, and with Zeus here, the emperor, right? The emperor is all about your inner authority. It's all about your inner power. So that's definitely telling me that it's like we're right there. We're right there on the precipice of doing that. But for right now, we're in this heavy energy of not feeling inspired. Yeah, the Eight of Swords with Medusa. Oh, these are heavy. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a bullying element here. I'm so sorry if you're going through this. I know what this feels like. Eight of Swords. This is a mental prison. So we're currently here. We're currently in the mental prison. And what I mean by that is, in traditional tarot, the Eight of Swords is a woman by herself, bound with a blindfold on, with 8 swords surrounding her, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on dry land. And what that means is she's not quite aware that she's surrounded by her own thoughts and words, because the swords in tarot represents thoughts and words. So she's not aware that she's surrounded herself with her own thoughts and her own words that could be repeating of other people in the past, harmful things. And she's kind of in a spiral think situation, right? This spiraling energy I got earlier from my little cosmic spiral charm, right? The spiraling. She does not realize that she is alone here. She did not put herself in this situation, obviously. You don't really tie up and blindfold yourself and put yourself in that situation. But she's not aware that she's alone in this, and she can undo her bindings and take off her blindfold and leave the situation. She's not quite aware that she has the ability to do that just yet. She's too busy being stuck in the mental prison, stuck in the cave, not quite aware of her own power. Yeah, because even Medusa, right? Medusa, this beautiful woman who got turned into a gorgon, she had the power to turn anything she looked at into stone. She could have left her cave at any time and wreaked havoc upon the world, but chose to stay in her cave. Because, people put her there and she decided to stay. This is you. We're surrounded by all these heavy energies, these bullying energies that keep us kind of shuttering down, hidden, hiding away, always looking down, not chasing after things we really like because we feel like we're not really worthy of it. Yeah. And that's not good, because I don't really see a need for doing that. Oftentimes your bullies, all they're really doing is telling on themselves. As it really doesn't really have anything to do with you. They see something in you that triggers their own insecurities, so then they say mean things because they're really talking to their own wounds and taking it out on you in order to justify how they feel about themselves on the inside. So, in other words, you threaten a part of them that they don't like. They admire something about you and are upset that they can't be that, so then they try to squash that light. It has nothing to do with you. We have the world here with Gaia. This is a cycle repeat. Oh, that's interesting, because I've been tapping into music. Yeah, I've been tapping into music here throughout this. I see here this is a cycle repeat. This is a continuous cycle of trying to go after your dreams, right? In this specific thing. As I said before, in music and being around the wrong people, people who put you down, who criticize, and who are just being bullies, people who really suck. Yeah, they keep you from pursuing that motivation and your inner authority. And it's been a constant cycle repeat. It's been a constant thing here. But again, I see this strength here, and I see this wanting to leave that situation. So I do see that. Yeah, the Eight of Wands, Atalanta. So this is quickly coming in. This, yeah, the Eight of Wands is all about like fast movement, fast inspiration, fast motivation coming in. That pairs with this Six of Swords. Can you clarify this Eight of Wands? Thank you. The Knight of Swords, Aries. The Knight of Swords with Aries. Yeah. The Knight of Swords is the second fastest knight in the deck. They're the one who comes in with all their thoughts and their words. They're all about fast, swift communication. And one more, and then I'll move into the next part. Tell me more here, Spirit. What is this? Like wanting to, this like desire building for swift communication, this desire building for leaving this situation. Thank you. This desire to get out of this betrayal energy. We have the Ten of Swords with Melpomene, literally a deity of betrayal, constant betrayal. When it's in the reversed, right, that often can mean like either a recent betrayal or leaving betrayal. It can also mean inner betrayal, which, you know, people who are victims of bullying can continue to repeat the words of what the bullies say in order to continue that cycle of bullying. They keep saying it to their self-conscious until you believe it, and then you think that's your reality, right? This, though, it's like a fast desire, a desire to get out of this situation. Yeah, it's kind of also like a stand-up energy, like standing up to it. Okay. So I have the what going on here. I have this apathy and fatigue around partnerships, which can include platonic, business, familial, romantic, right? The House of Partnerships encompasses all those areas. But in Cancer, it's like staying there for loyalty reasons, for like you've known them for forever, or whatever the reason is that you're holding on so tightly, but it's causing harm because these people are not for you like at all. So let's see. We have the what here, this intense sadness and apathy towards chasing after what we want because of other people, putting us in this mental prison where we don't recognize our own inner authority, and we're letting the cycle continue. But there's this strong desire to leave, to stand up to this building. It's building up. Purple wants to come out. So why do you want them to know this, Spirit? Why did you choose me to be the person that told them this today? Why did they need to hear this? These tiny little cards. You feel small. I just realized I've grabbed 2 tiny decks. You feel small. You've been making yourself small. And that's kind of something that bullies will do. They'll make their person feel small because they feel small. Why do you want them to know this at this time, Spirit? Oh, yes, this is a collective reading. Thank you, Man Ray. If you do want a personal reading, I offer that at the link in my bio. I don't have enough followers for that link to be clickable, so you have to enter it into your own browser. I apologize. That's just the name of the game. But I don't like doing personals on here because your business is yours. It does not deserve to be on the internet. You know what I mean? So yes, feel free to check it out. Why do they need to know this at this time, Spirit? Why do they need to know this? Ooh. Ah. Oh, well, okay. King of Swords reversed and the Two of Cups reversed. Well, this is heavy, heavy, heavy overthinking energy. The King of Swords reversed is and around the Two of Cups. Yeah, because we have this heavy feeling that we're never going to find people who are actually for us. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that apathy. We're kind of looking at other people, at humanity, as this, in this cynical manner. Yeah. Looking for reasons why people are going to suck. So it's like being hyper vigilant, hyper aware, walking on eggshells, overthinking everything they ever say. So it's kind of like kneecapping future partnerships because of past ones. Ooh, 7-11 just popped out, which is relevant. That adds up to 9 for Hermit energy. Yeah, we're kind of isolating right now. I have the 5 of Wands in the reverse, and that's because of this past conflict. The 5 of Wands in traditional tarot here, you see all these sticks clashing. This is definitely upright. It would be like friendly rivalry, you know? It would be like, you know, if you're in an industry that requires a lot of different people to come in. I mean, we'll say the music industry, since that's been so heavy here. You have a bunch of people who are chasing after their dreams. It's a very creative field, very creative niche, right? And even though you're all kind of competing to get to number 1, it's a friendly type of competition. In the reverse, though, that is heavy, heavy, heavy competition in the form of enemies. People sabotaging your efforts. Yeah, bullying. Not feeling like their stuff is good enough to just put out there and see who gets to the top. Right? It's people who are very insecure, who can't just let their work speak for itself. Kind of doing that kind of thing. And that's why, because we're looking at everybody as an enemy now because of this past situation. Oh, and that's not good. Thank you. Yeah, and there's that Fool. It came out upright a minute ago, and then it went, like, it fell and went to reverse, which is blocking this new beginning. We're blocking that. I see now. I see why the Death showed up in sideways right next to this Fool. Because since we're approaching people and looking at everybody as a possible new bully, as a possible new enemy, we're blocking this beginning that we're trying to get. Yeah, we're not listening to our intuition. The intuition that's bringing in, the intuition's trying to bring in, yeah, it's like defenses against transformation. Yeah. Interesting. Tell me more on why they need to know this right now. Why this is being brought up to their attention, Spirit. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. You're sabotaging yourself. What used to be people sabotaging you has now become a vicious cycle of sabotaging yourself. That's rough. I understand. I've been here before. I have the t-shirt. I have the trauma. I have the snow globe. Got it. Yeah. Okay. And I see these cards that want to come out, but they're not coming out. I often think of that as we haven't quite accepted those truths yet. They have to land here to be read. I don't listen to them otherwise. Why do they need to know? Yeah, 10 of Swords. In the reverse, though. Yeah, because of past betrayals. We're blocking our new beginnings because of these past betrayals. It's becoming an inner betrayal. Like I just said earlier. We want to leave this betrayal behind. We want to. But we're not quite aware that we've internalized these things, and we're doing it to ourselves now. Yeah, the Hermit. As I said earlier, the Hermit, 9. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lindsay. The Hermit. The Hermit is all about going within and shining a light on ourselves. It's shining a light on our inner darkness. And you see how when I put it down here, it's facing that past betrayal. It's facing the past. Facing all this past energy. Hey, hello, hello. It's facing all this past energy, so it's shining a light on this past energy. So you're being called to go within and shine a light on this. Because we've internalized it, and now we're repeating the cycle with our own mind, our own inner voice. Yeah, it's that inner parasite. It's the shadow self. The shadow self, the ego, that's a culmination of the ego, and the shadow side is not a bad side. Okay? There's no good, there's no bad. There just is. It's a culmination of all of the things that people told you was bad. You know, oh, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too dramatic, you're too this, you're too that. And then you start to internalize it. And then you make yourself smaller, right? You make yourself smaller and you hide those parts of yourself away in order to be more acceptable to others, to people that you want to like you. Everybody does it. That's the very normal human behavior, right? But oftentimes we can get out of balance with this. We're not quite aware that we're doing these things. And when we do that, our subconscious, right, believes the stuff that we kind of hide away, that's kind of churning in the back of our head. And it starts to create it in our reality. So in other words, we'll approach new partnerships as rivals. So we won't really be kind to them, and we'll kind of do a constant cycle repeat. Our friendships will never really hold. Our partnerships will never really hold. They'll always fall through because we're already coming to them expecting them to fail, expecting them to be like it was in the past. It's like treating every single weapon like it's loaded, even though it could be a dummy weapon, could be a fake one, and we don't even know because we think it's real. So it's shining a light on those parts. It's being aware, oh, this part of me that used to be hypervigilant, that walked on eggshells in order to protect me, is now hurting me. I'm now causing myself pain and projecting onto others. 1717 just popped up. That's the number of the star card for healing. It also adds up to 16, which is the Tower. So someone may have just had a big realization about this. This could have just opened your eyes to your own behavior. But that's this change and this transformation. It's this realization of, oh, I'm becoming what I didn't want to be. Yeah, it's the lashing out, the passive aggressiveness. Yeah, leaving that behind. The Eight of Cups is leaving things behind, things we put a lot of love and care and energy into. But you see how the Hermit was originally looking at the past, and the Eight of Cups is going towards the future, going towards these mountains, towards the journey. We're leaving behind all this heavy, heavy, heavy emotion and energy where we left all of our cups under the light of the full moon into the darkness to go towards the future. Because this could be a really long running cycle of from childhood up until now of constantly being berated until you became the one berating yourself, which causes you to lash out at other people. And it just creates more of the same discord and chaos. And you may not even realize that you're doing it. Yeah. What else do they need to know, this Spirit? Yeah, that may make you feel chaotic. Cards are shuffling a little chaotically here, so that could bring a lot of chaos. 555, change, transformation, conflict again. But 555, 5 is in numerology, it's a number about change and transformation, positive change, positive transformation. So realizing this and going into yourself and recognizing this will lead to positive transformation. Yeah, the Knight of Wands, we're guarded. We're very guarded, but justifiably so. I mean, look, his arm's in a sling. He's got a bandage around his head. He's pretty beat up and bruised, built a wall up, not letting people in. And again, looking at the past, but this one's heading towards the future, right? So whenever we look at the past, we become guarded, defensive. And again, justifiably so. But sometimes that can hurt us more than it can help us. Sometimes you build the walls so high that you harm positive connections coming in. Hello, Ark. Yes. We have 2 cards here. So 5 of Cups in the reverse and the Chariot. Okay, yeah. I do see this upright though. So this past grieving, this past disappointment, right? It is nice to see this internal grief, this internal disappointment around all this past energy. We have the Chariot, and it's in the upright. And I like to see this in the upright because that means, right, how I said earlier, we have our shadow and our light side. Again, neither is good, neither is bad. They just are. If you have too much of one, you go in circles, right? We're approaching this balance. Like I said before, we had the 6 of Swords and the Strength card, wanting to leave that behind, building the strength to leave behind this thought process, leave behind these painful relationships that were bullies. Yeah, this right on the precipice here of the death, right on the precipice of making that change. Originally, we were refusing that change, and that was hurting us. But it looks like we're getting there. We're getting there because we're tired. We're tired, and he loves you as well. We're tired of always having swords in our back, whether we put them there or someone else put them there. We're tired and we want things to change. We want change. And sometimes the change isn't necessarily external. The change is internal. It's going, oh, I listened so much that I internalized it, and I didn't even realize that I'm acting exactly that way. Now I'm becoming so guarded, I'm blocking my own future. Why else do they need to hear this at this time? What else? Because we have the intuition, so it seems like you've been intuitively moving this way, and I have ascension symptoms. And ascension symptoms can be heaviness in the head, it can be fatigue, it can be feeling disconnected from reality, it can be heavy emotions, changes in sleep that you can't really explain. And what that means is it's when we start coming out of those lower frequencies of the past, of repeating conflict, and we start moving up. That's when people start to make those big changes. They start making those changes because they want things to be different. We leave a old reality and step into a new one. 51 is relevant. Someone here could be 51. That also adds up to the number 12 for the Hanged Man, a shift in perspective. And that reduces down to 3. So, new communication, new collaboration. It's also the number for creativity. And the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, with the Wheel of Fortune right behind it. Interesting. Because of clarity. Yes. So they're wanting you, okay. Yeah, going within and looking at these tendencies. Noticing where you're guarded and how you may assume people are out to get you without them even showing that they are, is because of this past disappointment, these past betrayals that you've cemented within yourself. And you have been making progress towards changing this script, right? But the minute you get into, oh, wonderful. The moment you get into seeing this truth, the moment you get this clarity, that's when the opportunities come in. That's when the wheel turns. That's when things change around. Because right now, we may have been feeling right down here on the bottom with Anubis, the deity of death. Death, there he is. That heavy, somber energy, right? Down there. And we move over to the top of the wheel. Everyone always has their time at the bottom, and then they have their time at the top. Hello. So that tells me that going into this truth, you will be able to find success in this manner. You will be able to attract new opportunities. And there she is, the Empress. The 3. You see that 3? I just said 3. The Empress. The birthing of new ideas. The stepping into our ultimate creative process. attracting really decent partnerships, that Venusian energy. Why else? Or shall I move on into the next part? Oh goodness. Yeah. And then you find your success. Like I said, the success. Yeah. Because we're moving forward. Again, all these cards that were facing towards the past, this one's facing forward. You see? Guarded towards the past, going towards the future, with all of our wands, by the way. All that motivation, all that creativity, all that passion. Moving forward. 5 just showed up in the chat, and I just saw 4848. 5, change, transformation. 4848. 16 plus 8, that's, oh dear, 24? Yes, 24, which reduces down to 6, of balancing, no longer self-sabotaging, harmony. Now, what does Spirit want you to do about this? We have the why, we have our what, we have our why. It's like, okay, now we're being told this, but what do you want me to do about it specifically? What do you want me to do about it? What do you want them to do about this energy, Spirit? I mean, I feel like you've been pretty straightforward here, but let's see. We're nosy. We want details. We want instructions. Because we're right here. We're right at the edge. Will you kneecap that change, or will you accept that change? Will you continue to be guarded towards it, or will you actually move forward? My goodness. Yeah, that resistance. Oh. That resistance coming in here. And this is the actual cards that aren't small. So we went from feeling really, really small to going back to being ourselves, this bigger energy. Stepping into the big, but there's resistance of showing up as ourselves. Showing up as who we are. What do you want them to do about it, Spirit? I saw that. What do you want them to do about it at this time, Spirit? Hello. What do you want them to do about this, Spirit? If you don't come out, I'm not listening. What do you want them to do about it? Thank you. The 8 of Pentacles, hard work. So they want you to work on this. As I said before, this Hermit card, going within and shining a light on these tendencies. They want you to put in this work. It's time for the shadow work. It's time for the inner work. Yeah. Why do you feel like everyone is out to get you? Why do you feel like everyone you meet wants to hurt you? Why do you feel like you have to be small? They want you to look within and find that out. Yeah, 2 of Cups. Why do you feel like you're not worthy of balanced partnerships? They want you to work on this. Not approach everything as a possible painful partnership. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles in reversed. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. So we went from the second fastest to the slowest. They're the ones who show up for the daily grind. They put in the effort every single day. But they want this in reversed. So it's like they want you to work on it, but they're not telling you that you need to dive into shadow. Yeah, with the 4 of Cups here. Okay. They don't want you to dive in to the point of you need to do self-improvement and fix every little thing about you. They're not telling you to do that, right? The 4 of Cups in this specific deck talks about meditation. And I know most people hear meditation and they go, oh, right, here we go. Kumbaya stuff. No. They want you to approach this slowly. right? You're not going to heal all of your traumas and get over things overnight. That's just not how that works, right? You're going to have days where you make progress and then some days where you go backwards. That's part of the journey. That's part of how it works. They want you to take it slowly. They want you to really look over these things and look over how you show up in these ways, the lies that other people have told you that you believe. They want you to look over those, and they want for you to work on them. They don't want for you to show up and turn yourself into some kind of like weird robot who shows up and just repeats the motions day in and day out. No, they want you to really like sit with yourself, get out in nature if you can, find some grounding, right? Find some grounding, like just get in tune, get into your body, do things that put you into your body. For example, dancing is a good one. Somatic therapy. It's a somatic therapy, gets you into your body, takes you out of the headspace, and puts you into yourself, right? So whatever it is that you have in your life that takes you out of the constant thinking, overthinking, and puts you more into the present moment and grounding in order to help you kind of look within and tackle these thoughts and beliefs. I'm going to light another incense here because I feel like we need it. And yeah, just kind of taking it slowly. Taking it slowly. Because you need to tackle that stuff slowly. You can't fast track getting over trauma. Unfortunately. It would be so cool if we could. I know. Whenever I see that, that is something that wants to come out, but doesn't have the courage to come out yet. So if it comes out, I'll read it. If not, it doesn't want to come out yet. I often think of it as like you've blocked someone, but they keep trying to hit you up in your inbox. I'm not going to listen to them until they feel free to come on out and use their whole chest. Yeah, like I see it. I know it's there. It's the Ten of Swords. It's that betrayal wanting to keep coming in. It's the one that keeps persisting in the headspace. But I'm not listening to it because it should be out here, not cycling in the background. And that could be for somebody. It's the constant replaying of betrayals. But what if it goes like last time? What if that happens again? What if it doesn't work out? You know, it's that constant thinking about it. No, you need to come into the present moment and get out of that. The more you focus on the past, the more you recreate the past. So, what else do you want them to do about it, Spirit? What else do you want them to do about it? Thank you. The Ace of Cups. This is about... The Ace of Cups is usually like a really small, emotional, creative offer. Doing things that like lift up your spirits. Yeah, especially with the Four of Cups here. Like they don't want you to overwork yourself to death on self-improvement, because the idea isn't that you're changing every single thing of who you are and becoming a whole different person, right? The idea is you're acknowledging these tendencies. You're acknowledging where they came from. You're saying, thank you, shadow me, for showing up and being there, for protecting me, for helping me find a way to survive during this time of turmoil. We don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to do that anymore because now it's hurting us. So what can we do to self-soothe? What can we do to kind of come back to center? You know, it's not denying that it exists. The shadow side is still you. It's all the aspects of you you've been hiding. I mean, there's no reason to get rid of it. Yeah. It's the part of you you need to accept. I had a rough time and this happened because of it. That's part of me. Those are my tendencies. They're not bad. They're not evil. It used to be my armor. It used to be my shield. It's still trying to be my armor. It's still trying to be my shield. Thank you so much, R. But even shields and armor, you can outgrow them. They can become constricting. They can crush, right? So it's time to make new armor. It's time to get a new shield. It's time to, and you don't even have to replace the entire thing. There would be little adjustments in order to make it fit you better, right? It's just that. It's like we now need new tools because we're no longer in that situation. We're in new situations, and we need new tools in order to learn how to deal with situations that come up again, right? Because you'll never really be free of people who don't like you. They're going to continue to come in, and they might come in with the same past energy, but we need a new way of handling it so that we don't revert back into this really small constricted energy. You know, we need new methods. So it's like looking for new ways to emotionally regulate, looking for new ways to deal with this when it comes back up. Yeah, it's like when a bully comes up and says their stuff, you decide how you, like, if you even respond. You decide if you give them that power over your emotions. But you need to have the tools. You need to learn how to pull yourself back into center, to pull yourself from emotionally reacting, and from not taking their words to heart. Because again, what they say to you is a reflection of themselves and how they feel about themselves. Yeah, the Hierophant reversed. That's funny. The Hierophant reversed. Thank you, R. The Hierophant is all about traditions, right? It's religious authority, marriages, traditions, things of that, societal expectations. It's breaking free from that, breaking free from traditions, breaking free from those things. So, and yeah, we have the Temperance right after that with balancing yourself, quieting the inner demons, right? All these bullies that used to scream in your head about how you're not really worth a damn. We don't have to listen to them. They're not really us. It's not the truth at all. It's stuff someone else said because they felt small and caged within, and they decided to put that onto someone else. You can break free from that. You don't have to hold on to that. It's not yours to hold. Yeah, and embracing your new beginning. Thank you, Man Ray. Embracing that new beginning. Yeah, balancing, not listening to those inner demons anymore, breaking free from the expectations of others. All that stuff they put on you. Well, in order to be successful, you must be this. In order to break out in the music industry, you must be this. No, you don't. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you look, okay, if someone's giving you advice or commenting on your life, look at their life. Look how they show up. Look at who they are, how they live their life. If you don't like the way they're living their life, if you don't like how they are around people, don't listen to them. If you listen to them, you'll end up the same way. The only time you should listen to them is if they say, don't do this if you don't, or else you'll be like me, right? Otherwise, don't listen. Listen to the people whose lifestyles that you love, who show up the way that you love, who create the way you love. Look for the people who are where you want to go and listen to their advice. Anyone who says, oh, you're not enough, you're not this, you're not that, usually isn't very successful. They may have millions of dollars, they may have a nice looking family life, but they're miserable because they're projecting onto other people. They're criticizing other people. They're making people small. You don't want that. Don't listen to them, okay? Because you'll turn into them. Yes. Embrace your new beginning, okay? Yeah, and I always see with the Fool card, he's stepping off a cliff, doesn't care where he's going, he's just heading on off in his crazy outfit, heading off. Yeah, free yourself. Free yourself from your mental prison. Free yourself from those shackles, okay? You don't have to hold on to them. They're not yours to begin with. Someone else put them on you, take them off. Yeah, it's the truth. I'm telling you. It's the truth. This is the Ace of Swords. It's literally the truth card, the clarity. It's truth. King of Swords. You see how earlier when we had the why do you need to know this, you were the King of Swords in reversed energy? This overthinking? Who's this? He's back. And you notice how he's really small in this, but in this, he's larger than life. He's massive. He towers over everything. All this blue, all this expression. The King of Swords upright is a very fair and just person. They're very logical brained, right? They're still in touch with their emotions, but they lead analytically. They know their truth and they stand in it, and no one's going to tell them otherwise, right? More Aquarius energy, right? They don't really care about the norms. They go with what is true. In the reversed, though, that's like all head over heart. That's overthinking, that's overanalyzing, that's being cruel with words, that's being very heavily overcritical. This person's not critical, they give constructive criticism. Those are not the same thing. Constructive criticism does not eviscerate your will to live. Being rude and a jerk with your words and framing it as constructive criticism is not constructive criticism. Okay? We're wanting to get you here. This new beginning, back into your King of Swords, because this is actually you with all this blue, standing in your truth, expressing yourself, speaking, this larger than life person, right? That's where you need to be. But first you need to get over this hypercritical moment that is taken in from bullies who told you all the reasons why you can't succeed in life, why you shouldn't. Yeah. We have the Hanged Man in reverse. Yeah, there needs to be a perspective shift. We're too guarded. Again, with this guarded energy. Guarded energy, conflict. It puts you in the Empress reverse. We don't want that. We want the Empress upright. The Empress reverse doesn't create. They don't create. They don't nurture anything. They don't do anything. They're the energy of being passive in their lives. They're not going after anything. They don't create. They always stay small. They never take their place on the throne. Too guarded. We're too guarded. We have too much inner conflict. You need to shift your perspective. We need to recognize that we have taken on someone else's bullshit and we're projecting it onto other people. And I'm not even saying that that makes you a bad person. I understand how we got here. Because I've been here. I know what this feels like. I've been bullied. I've listened to bullies. I've made myself small. I've kept myself quiet. I know what this feels like. Yeah, being hypercritical. Always feeling like I have to critique myself to death. Self-improvement myself to death. When all I really needed was to stop listening to the past voices. Because they're not mine, they're theirs. And you can do that too. Yeah. Because right now we're in this 10 of Cups in the reverse. We're not happy at all. This is all about balancing the head and the heart. The head and the heart. Finding our emotional happiness. In the reverse, though, our head and our heart are out of alignment. They're out of alignment because we're listening to things that don't actually apply to us anymore. You can be big. Yeah, the Queen of Wands. Look at all this passion, all this fire. You're capable of so much. Don't let what other people told you in the past keep you from expressing yourself, keep you from stepping into your power, okay? All right. I'm being called to move on into the Advice Oracle. I have a brand new deck that I'm really excited to introduce you guys today. I'm going to do a quick recap. I always post a little video for people who can't make the live. I post it on here, so just bear with me and I'll move straight into the Advice Oracle, okay? Someone here, well, they're feeling very much apathetic and disconnected from life. They have been bullied a lot over the past several years, could be their entire life. And they feel very small. They feel like they can't ever do anything. They can't create. They can't express themselves because of other people. There have been partnerships in the past of people who lied a lot, who looked charming on the surface, but then would come in and they would gossip, they would cause rumors, they would say all kinds of hurtful things, they would criticize what you were doing. And you're very strong. You're very strong for having dealt with this. Not that I'm congratulating you for being strong. I'm just saying you were very strong for putting up with this, and that deserves a lot of respect. A lot of plans fell through, and it caused a lot of pain. Someone here is definitely in the music industry, and you have a lot of fire, a lot of passion, and you want to get your things out there, but people have blocked you. They have convinced you that you are not worthy of getting what you want out there. And it's blocked your beginning. It's blocked this beautiful beginning that you've been chasing. Right now, we're on this precipice, this very edge of transforming. We've been very unmotivated and very much in our mental prison, the repeating cycle of not realizing just how much inner authority we have, who we really are, not embracing that within ourselves. But there's been a small undercurrent in the background, fast approaching, of this desire to stand up to this betrayal, to these bullies, to our own inner bully, wanting to build the strength. It's like building up courage to break free from this, to go on your own, to get away from it. We're wanting to leave this cycle behind. And it's been in the background. We're right on the precipice of making that change. And the reason that you're being told this at this time is because right now we're viewing everybody as a possible enemy. We're viewing everybody as what has hurt us in the past. We're viewing everybody as someone who, instead of being a friendly rival, they are now just someone who's going to cause more chaos, more pain. And this is causing us to block our own beginnings because we're too focused on past betrayals. And we've also internalized the words that were told to us by those people. And now our own inner voice is repeating them in our head. That's not good enough. You'll never make it. You don't deserve to put your things out there. That looks ugly. You don't do it that well. Like those kinds of things. It's becoming our own internal cycle of constant self-bullying at this point. And there's a tremendous need to go within and shine a light on this because we're not necessarily aware that we have these hypercritical tendencies on our own self as well as on future partnerships. We're very, very much guarded because of this past disappointment and grief. And we need to look at that. We need to leave that cycle behind. We have this heavy emotional attachment to the past, and we need to let it go. We need to let go of this tendency to be guarded against everything. Once we do that, once we shine our light on this, once we actually look at it for what it is, right? Our old way of keeping ourselves safe that is now harming us. That's when we realize our truth. We realize who the hell we are. And we start attracting those opportunities we want. That's when our time down on the bottom of the wheel will flip over into the upright. It will flip into the good part of our days. It will become our Empress era, and we will finally leave that past behind and chase into our success with all of our motivations, our desires, and all of our creative fire, really. What Spirit wants you to do about this is they want you to work on this. They want you to go within and they want you to do that internal work. They want you to do internal work on how you view relationships, whether that's romantic, familial, platonic, business, what have you, how you interact with other people. They want you to go in and look on this. It's very, very important as you move forward that you need to address this defensive, hypercritical nature that came from the past. They don't want you to do it. They don't want you to go into it and self-improvement yourself to death, okay? They don't want you to go into it and, feel like you need to fix everything. Hello. Because there's nothing to fix. This need to address this is not because this is an inherently evil or bad part of yourself. It's because this is a defense mechanism that came from a very understandable source that is now harming you. The armor you wear has become too small and constrictive, and we need to make adjustments so that it fits properly again. They want for you to slow down a little bit. They want for you to meditate, as in ground into your body, do things that put you into the here and the now, not in the past, not in the future, today. Okay? They want you to go after things that light your heart up little by little, okay, in order to get you out of this constant cynical viewpoint of the world. And they want you to let go of those societal expectations that these people put onto you, right? These bullies that you now bully yourself with. They want you to let go of it because it's not reality. They want you to balance yourself. They want you to stop listening to these little inner demons, these inner demons that are always screaming in your head about how you're not good enough. They don't want you to listen to it. They want you to quiet the noise. Not shame it, not say you're not me, because it is you. It's you repeating the hurt that was put onto you. But they want you to understand that those words aren't yours and they're not reality. They're projections from other people who chose to stay in this constant self-critical cycle. They're not actually true. That will bring in your new beginning. You will find, because you do this work, because you go in and you actually do this slowly, because we don't heal things quickly, that things that heal quickly aren't sustainable. So taking your time with this to really go within and change, find better tools in order to make those small adjustments. That will bring you your truth. And then we will go from being this hypercritical King of Swords to being someone who's more fair and just, someone who was originally very small and defensive and hypercritical to someone who's huge, who can speak their truth, who's able to express themselves very well while still being fair and just to those who approach them, right? We need this perspective shift. It's so important because the more we're defensive and the more that we pay into this inner conflict, the more we continue this cycle of feeling like everyone's a rival, that we're all going after this cursed ass skull, by the way, this heavily cursed thing that we have no business reaching for. The more we stay in this not being able to create for ourselves, never being in this creative energy of standing in our power and nurturing others from that place of power, and the more that we are unable to balance our head and heart, and the more that we are unhappy with our lives. We want to be this Queen of Wands, full of fire, full of passion, in their power, fully in their power. That's what we want to do in order to get there. So they want you to do the work on this specific part of yourself, okay? That's what they want you to do. Now I'm going to get into this beautiful advice oracle. I'm so excited to show you guys. It's brand new. I just got it. I spent time with it. I'm so excited. So this beautiful one here, not sponsored. I just like it. I want to know, brand new, closing advice for you guys. Now, I like these kinds of things. The original advice one I used has little sentences on them, but these ones have words and pictures. But I feel like they'll go well. I feel like they really will. Plus, I mean, purple and gold and blue, beautiful. Crown chakra, sacral chakra, throat chakra. But this is just to give you something to think on and digest as you go forward in order to help kind of give you some tools to look within and address this issue to help propel you into that change. Some closing advice for my collective here, Spirit, to help them on their path. Some advice for my collective. The gem in the reversed. The gem in the reversed. So this is the upright. The gem in the upright is all about abundance. It's inheritance, large money. In the reverse, though, there could be people here who are going after it for the sake of money, if that makes sense. We're not really looking at it for a place of, like, maybe when we started, we were going after it because we were really happy about it. It really inspired us. It motivated us. They were these big, beautiful dreams, these big Like, we had all these aspirations, but then it became about the money. Now, I understand we live in a 3D world, we live in a material world, things are expensive, I've got it. But there's this need to detach from this. Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We like to follow people who you can tell are passionate about their work. So you can tell when someone shows up and they hate their job. And we don't really like to listen to those people. We don't like to watch them. We don't like to take anything they have to give us. Because we can tell that they're not really in it. Like, they're not really in it. They're just here to collect their paycheck. And when we only ever focus on, will I get a paycheck for this? What can I do to drive up numbers and, attention? What can I do in order to get more money? We lose the spark. We lose the motivation. We kind of get separated from why we started in the first place. And that can come from bullying. It can come from people who just do it for the money, but they have the better views, they have the better everything. Their life looks glitzy and glamorous, and you think, man, maybe I really should be chasing that. We start to get into comparison, and we stop doing it for the sake of doing it. Any other advice, Spirit? So detaching from that, because then you actually go in it with passion, and that's usually when people can tell when you're passionate and they're more willing to support you, because we don't like supporting soulless companies or people who are just in it for the money. We like to support people who show up and really are passionate, who really enjoy things, who really are in it for the love of just the craft. Yeah, the Fool, the beginning. Look, reckless abandon. Look how big and full their bag is. It's so full that they're dropping stuff along the way. It's like the abundance will be provided, but you can't make that all that you're going after. You can't just make that the entirety of it. Any other closing advice for this collective as they go forward? Yeah, it's like maybe we have friends that because they have the funds that we want, they have the lifestyle that looks nice, but when you get to know them, their life is kind of a dumpster fire. We don't want that. Hi, Cosmic. We want to go after things because we actually love them. We want to be surrounded by people who actually enjoy their lives, who enjoy their work, who enjoy doing their hobbies, and who lift us up. They don't crush us down. Like I said, that friendly rivalry of we're both putting our passions out there, and we'll see who gets to the top. And I will clap for you if you beat me because you were liked more. That doesn't mean that my stuff is less valuable. It's their time to shine. I'm going to clap for you. That's the kind of people we need to be around. Yeah, and the book reversed. So again, the need to look within. In other words, what that means is you may not know exactly how to do that just yet, but all that means is that you just need to learn a little bit. Okay, we have this beautiful book. There are resources and information out there in order to help you look within, in order to give you those tools. It's needing those tools in order to understand how to view relationships, how to go in and acquire better discernment. It's like instead of coming in and automatically assuming this person's going to stab me in the back, it's learning how to recognize. It's like taking the past and noticing when people act a certain way. But when you first go into that relationship, you go into it at a neutral. This is a new person. Let's see how it plays out, right? We just need the information on how to do that. So it's a call to go look for that information. How to tap into your discernment instead of just deciding everyone's evil from the get-go. Because that's not real. There are billions of people on the planet, and 5 to 10 people being mean to you doesn't represent the entirety of humanity. And deciding people are evil before you even meet them is crazy. What are you doing? That means that you're okay with someone deciding you're evil before they've even met you. You see what I mean? Doesn't make sense. Because are you? No. So why would you do that to someone else? And that usually continues that cycle of hurt people, because we're already deciding someone's bad before they show up, so we treat them that way. And then we're surprised when they don't like us or they turn out bad, because we've already treated them that way, so they match the energy. You know? Any other advice for my collective today? Oh my goodness. Not you. And the map. Yeah, the map in reverse. Yeah. We want the map. We want the map. We want the whole thing outlined for us. We want people to be like, okay, in order to get to our healing, in order to get to our best self, where we automatically know where someone's bad before they even show up, we want this. Hi. We want the whole map so that we know the entire journey. That's not how that works, buddy. You need the information. You can't get the map without the book. If you can't read a map, how's the map going to help you? If you don't know how to read the map is useless. I could tell you, okay, in order to know if someone's for you or not, you need to look for X, Y, Z. If you have no idea what that means, my advice is not going to help you at all. You know, if I tell you to look for people who, for example, make passive-aggressive remarks on everything you do, but you have no idea what a passive-aggressive remark is because you've never experienced one, that advice will not help you. Or it could lead you into someone having a bad day and you taking them having a bad day as them being passive-aggressive. You follow me? Like, you have to understand this information. You have to go actually learn it in order to be able to follow the map, in order to understand the process. If I tell you that in order to get into your body, you have to practice grounding techniques, but you have no idea what a grounding technique is, it's not going to help. Like, for example, I'm a Pisces moon. If you're a Pisces moon, I have information for you, but you have to know you're a Pisces moon. If you are already aware, a beautiful grounding technique for you is eating chocolate or taking baths. That's when you feel the most relaxed. That's when you're drawn into the present moment. Now, if you are a Sagittarius moon, I believe that your grounding technique is going on hikes or being in nature, right? So if you live near, say, a park, going to the park would be very grounding for you. It would kind of get you out of your head and put you into your body, right? But if you don't know that information, that's not going to help you. Be like, I don't know. Taurus moon? I don't know. That is something you need to look up, right? I'm not a professional astrologer. I only know those two things because I only know two people with those two placements. But that's what I mean, looking up that information. What does a Taurus moon need to ground? And you have something that you can use as a tool for yourself. And because you went and you searched it out and you found it, you'll remember next time. Yes. Although, honestly, I think Taurus moons just need to take a nap. Naps are probably it. But that's just me guessing. Yeah, we have the Fiend here and the Humanoid in reverse. That's crazy energy. That's crazy energy. Okay, the Fiend in the upright is usually a very manipulative person. In the reverse, though, that's like, I mean, it's not that. Yeah, it's like not viewing everyone as a manipulative person. And the humanoid card here, right? These are a bunch of kobolds. Shout out to my D&D nerds. These are a bunch of kobolds, little human dragonlings, who are building traps for incoming intruders. This card represents empathy and compassion. It's working as a unit. In the reverse, that means that empathy is very much needed. Right now, we are too critical. Right now, we see everyone as a possible manipulator. That's not the case. Not everyone is a manipulator. Not everyone is a narcissist. People have narcissistic tendencies, sure. But not everyone is a full-blown narcissist. So it's realizing that. And like, I don't say empathy in order to bring out people who are fellow past people pleasers, right? I'm not saying you need to go back into that, okay? What I'm saying is that when we get overly defensive, when we see everyone as a villain, we start treating everyone that way. And that can cause people to become villains because we're trying to protect ourselves from bullies, but inadvertently become someone else's bully. You follow me? Even if we're not actively trying to be a bully, we're blowing up at them, we're critiquing everything we do, we're redoing the cycle, we're recreating the narrative, but now it's in someone else's story. Instead of just recognizing that sometimes people will make comments a little sideways, right? And you speak up, you say, I didn't really like that, right? But not acting like because they made a sideways comment, they're now out to get you, you know? People have days. If it's every day, then you're right, yes. Let them go. But if it's once in a blue moon and they're generally a very supportive person, then they're just having a bad day. Let them have it. Speak up, because you don't just let it slide, but like, you know what to do. Yeah, we have the flames here. This card is all about vengeance in the upright. It's vengeance, past grudges, holding on. Can't be doing that. You see how he's chained? That looks so heavy. He looks so miserable. Yeah, chained up shadow self, consumed in the flames. Consumed in the flames of vengeance, chained down by the past, chained down by these feelings. We don't need that. We don't need that, okay? Yeah, let it go. And yeah, the monstrosity card in the reversed. Okay, this beautiful little owl bear in the upright. This is something that looks friendly, but is actually super dangerous. In the reversed, it is something that looks really dangerous, but is actually super friendly. So again, making sure that when we see people, when new people come into our life, whether they're friends, family members, business deals, whatever have you, right? This is the house of partnerships. Whenever they come along, we stop looking at them like they're dangerous because we are consumed in the past pain. And we see everyone as a manipulative piece of crap, okay? Don't do that. Don't assign that narrative to someone who isn't a monster. Don't create the monster before the monster even shows up. Yeah, and then utilize that information to find your map, to find your way of recognizing when someone is a problem, instead of just viewing everybody as a problem. Any more advice for my collective here? Interesting. Yeah, there's that holding on to grudges, things that you just won't let it die. Holding on to grudges. Yeah, don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it, because then it just keeps you in this energy forever. We don't want that. We have a star here, this beautiful star in the reversed. Now, it's interesting because in this deck, the star does not represent what it does in the tarot. This represents learning. It represents learning. In the reverse, though, yeah, we need to learn. There are things you need to learn in order to pull you out of this. Yeah, the key showing up. There's a key that needs to be found. There's a key that you need to go search out in order to learn this. We don't need to worry about this abundance, this innate focus on the what's around us, the material, the things we can't even take with us when we die, right? Because it will be provided. There'll be so much it'll be spilling out and we won't even care, right? Once we achieve this lesson. But what we need right now is the information, the key, this learning on how to recognize whether someone is friend or foe. Because right now, we're not entirely sure, so we think everybody is because of past grudges around this consuming past pain that we want to stop ourselves from re-experiencing. So now everything is a monster now. Everything's a monster, even though it's not. Yes. Any more advice there, Spirit? Lance. In the upright, this card represents cutting off the infection before it can spread. Yeah, in the reverse, it's avoiding this. So when we do recognize when someone is causing us pain, we also need to understand how to let things go before they become more painful. And I know you may be looking at me like, what? You just said not to treat everyone like... No. Once you've identified that someone is not for you, you need to know how to detach and let them go before it becomes worse, not holding on to them for so long. Okay? You want the people that you can hang out with in the tavern and have a good time with, right? That's what we want. But we need to recognize what the difference between those are, because right now there's a confusion aspect. Yeah, 404. There's an error. There's an error there. And that adds up to 8, which is all about karma, strength, and power. It's quieting when our inner voices are telling us, oh, this person's not really for you. They don't really like you, even though there's been no evidence to the contrary. Yes, so there's a need to learn how to distinguish between friend and foe in a way that's different than what you've been doing, because right now everybody is foe while still being friend. You know, they're friend because they're useful to us in the moment, but I'm waiting for when they become foe. It's like I'm expecting them to become a problem, and it's not healthy. Yes, learning how to ground yourself, learning how to center, and learning how to recognize when someone is a foe and how to properly cut them off before they become more of a problem, but also recognizing friends. So being able to tell the difference. That's necessary right now. Yeah, dragon. No need to hoard. No need to hoard people. No need to hoard things, okay? The dragon is all about hoarding treasure. You see how he's sitting on his little treasure hoard? We don't need to worry about that, okay? We don't need to worry about that, because again, that abundance will be so much. Once we have achieved this, once we've looked into the lesson and we've actually like taken the time to figure this out, you will have that abundance. It'll be spilling out. You won't even be worried about it, okay? You'll have so much it won't even matter. Yeah, but don't sit on it, right? Don't just hoard it. Yeah. And the skull. Yeah, death. Death is necessary. This is exactly like the death card in tarot, right? I know some of them have been different, but this one is exactly it. That transformation is needed. Yeah, the end of hoarding everything for the sake of having, right? Hoarding the friends, the connections for the sake of having it. Hoarding onto things that are painful because they could be useful, and not really understanding when someone just is not for you and needs to go, and then thinking everyone is not for you, but you need to hold on to everybody because they could be useful. Yeah, it's like you build the resentment towards new people and past friendships because of one bad apple in the bunch. But if you leave that bad apple in the bunch, it ruins all the other apples. So it's like you left the bad apple in there for so long, it contaminated the rest of the bundle. You feel me? It's learning to recognize when the apple's bad so you can get rid of it. Such a roundabout way, but we got there. Yeah. Anything else, Spirit, or is that it for today? Woo! Yeah, tomb. And statue, yes. Yes, the past. The past. Recognizing the past, right? Learning the lesson from the past. Uncovering those hidden things from beneath. But we don't hold on to it. We don't hold on to it. We uncover what we hid that's making it to where we are always looking at the past and feeling this way. You have to go in and find that little nugget, find that little key. Because if you find out where it started, you can do something about it. If you go, oh, it's because I was bullied and I started to believe that, then you go, okay, well, how do I change this narrative? How do I start fostering this confidence within myself? What do I need to do? How do I get back to center when I'm spiraling? What do I need to do? Once you have that one key, that one issue that's present, that's when you can actually go look for the information. That's when you can go find your map. Okay? Yeah, and the celestial. And this is directly from your spirit guides. The celestial is everything divine, right? The angels, spirits, all of that. That is literally what the divine is trying to tell you throughout this whole message. Is that looking within yourself and shining light on what is hidden will give you the key to looking for that information, to building your map, right? It will give you what you need to start the search, to start the process. Okay? That's what you need to do. That's the only way you can do change. The only way to make a change is to go to the root source and pluck it out. Otherwise, you're just cutting at pieces of the root, but the problems, it'll continue to grow because it's still there. Last one, and then I'll close it out. Yeah. And we had that before with this little charm for the ancestors. The little angel. Last closing advice, Spirit. Last little bit here. The campfire. You're in that little dark night of the soul, that void, this feeling of hopelessness. Spirit's here to give you the campfire, to rest. They want for you to rest. They want for you to go in and shine a light on these things so that you can actually make that change. And you can actually attract those relationships, those beneficial partnerships, and you can chase your emotional fulfillment, and you can bring in that abundance that you really, really want while still being happy and being surrounded by people who actually support you. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, getting to the point where you can laugh about it. The gesture is all about laughing at past pain. So instead of being like, oh man, I've been bullied my whole life, it was really painful. It's like, man, you laugh about it. You want to get to the point where now you're able to laugh about it. Like, it doesn't even hurt you anymore. Just like, that really sucked. But you know what? I'm stronger now because they really had me small. They really had me clowning. You know, they really had me feeling like I wasn't anything. How hilarious. Look at me now. You know? Look at me now. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, I hope that brought some lightness because this was very heavy to get into. Just know that you will find it. Again, the abundance is going to come in. Thank you. It is going to come in, right? Once you tackle this lesson, don't rush it, please. It will come in and you won't even have to worry about it anymore. Like, it's funny because there's the jester and there's the fool. Laughing at the misfortune and the new beginning, you know? But yeah, right now you just need to get to that key. And it's buried within your past. Okay? That will help you find your information in order to get that map going so you can finally achieve what you're looking for. So yeah, thank you for allowing me into your energy. Thank you for allowing me to be your reader today. If you want a personal reading, I do offer that at the link in my bio. I don't have 1,000 followers yet, so it's not a clickable link, unfortunately. But please feel free to check it out. Put it in your browser, search engine. Check it out. See if I vibe with you. If I don't, and this is the last I see of you, thank you for giving me your time, your energy, your patience. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your journey. Remember that life is an ever-crooked path, and you are never off of it. And if you chose to follow me and you like my vibe, I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.